We have a rule, Daddy. If he doesn't in me, he can anywhere on me. That's in Landman.
Athletic, bold, and commanding. The Equinox EV is what we're talking about from Chevy, and Chevy brings you this fantastic show. We do a lot of thank yous to everybody coming off of Thanksgiving, thankfulness, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We do a lot of chatter about potential big changes to the PGA Tour schedule. We go through a couple show recommendations and breakouts. We do a little college football coaching carousel talk. So it's a nice show today, gents.
Yeah, really good show. We touch on a lot of different topics, but it's good to be back. You know, we were off a little bit for Thanksgiving, but good to be back. Great to be back with Chevy. Great American car company.
Hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving. We're gonna roll right through like our Chevys, our Equinoxes, all the Chevys that we like to drive, all the way through to the holidays. Now it's Christmas time. Music's blasting. Movies are playing. The Chevys are on the screen. You know, love to see a Chevy commercial during the holidays as well with the big red bow. I love it all. Absolutely love it.
Good ones. Been some very good ones. And a very good one in the EV space is the Equinox EV. You just got to check it out. Chevy's been doing it so well for over a century. They've been doing EVs for over a decade now, and that's why the Equinox EV is so good. You can leave the driving to the Equinox EV, show up to the course energized, because they've got available Super Cruise hands-free driver assistance technology. They've got the awesome, iconic, massive 17-inch diagonal center screen, which is the largest of any EV in its class. When it comes to EVs, Equinox EV is the smartest choice you can make. Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. Hope everybody had a lovely Thanksgiving week. I love the holidays. We've always been a very excited, very highly enthusiastic holiday season podcast. I'm about to put my Christmas tree. I'm going to put my Christmas tree up this afternoon / evening. That's my big plan. But I'm going to start off with a huge thank you to everyone for Black Friday through Cyber Monday. As folks know, we kind of plastered all over. So thank you for dealing with it. That's just, we are trying to shove merchandise at 20% off down everywhere we possibly can, because it's an enormous part of our business. So thank you for dealing with that. And thank you for purchasing gear throughout the last 4 days, throughout the entire year, really. But it means the world to us. You know, it allows us, as we've always said, to be us. Dave's made that point many times for over 20 years. Being able to sell merchandise makes you beholden to pretty much nobody but you and whatever you would like to do. And so we do a pretty damn good job, comparatively speaking, with our merchandise here at the Foreplay Barstool Golf operation. And we put a lot of work into it. Pilar, Allison, Quinn, who does a lot of the retail, that whole team over there, Molly, they're awesome. And we do a lot of meetings. We spend a lot of time. We put a lot of input. We love apparel. We love merchandise. I've said many times, I don't walk into a pro shop of a course I've never played before, even with all the free stuff that we get, which is a lot, and not buy something currently. I love merchandise. I love buying hats and gear and hoodies. And so we put a lot of time and effort into making really good stuff. And you guys support us by buying it. So a huge thank you from me.
Yeah, massive thank you. It's always the best time of the year. Holidays are here now. It's not right around the corner. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. This was my first with Frankie being a dad. It's just so exciting to have the holidays around here with a baby in the house. Like, we just put up the Christmas tree. We got the Christmas lights going up today. He's so just infatuated with the Christmas tree. I bring him in. I go, here it is, the Christmas tree. I don't know why every singing I do is a variation of the Superman song. I'll go, Frankie boy is out of his crib, and I hold him up. I think because like it looks like he's flying.
Yeah.
Frankie boy is out of his crib. He took a nap. He has the biggest smile, just the smiliest baby of all time. So today I was like, Frankie boy in front of the tree, and he goes, ah, like literally biggest smile, touches all the lights. He's got his hands on the ornament. It's that Christmas magic, man. That's what it's all about, is just the lights, the shimmering of the little shiny, ornaments, and everything about it is so magical. And it really is great to see it through their eyes. And he's not even old enough to really express how much he loves it. It's just, it's all expressions on his face. It's pure happiness and joy. So I'm very excited to get this whole month, with a lot of family coming over and the whole deal. I can't wait. Whoa, my light just went out like Frank the Tank.
Ooh.
Yeah, you did. You're much darker.
You got dark.
Oh, my light just went out. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to describe what Christmas music does to my brain. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I just love it, and it puts me in a great mood, and I'm very excited for the holidays as usual. You fixing that light?
I have this light, and it's like a warm light, but I think the warm light keeps like burning out. So I'm gonna have to do this now. It looks like
now
I'm
you
getting
look like you're on
interrogated.
an operating table. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to fix
Yeah,
that.
you do.
that's a harsher light that you've got going on right now. There you go. That's warm.
Yeah, it's gonna go out again. I think.
I'm
It's
warm.
all
I'm
right.
all cozy now with that light that you've got on.
We'll figure it out, man. But
I love
I'm
Christmas
ready.
time.
Cozy.
Christmas music is great.
Oh, it really is. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin.
Oh, Bing
I've
Crosby.
seen a lot of Frank Sinatra lately.
Dude, the Frank Sinatra Christmas album is my number one Christmas album for sure. Bangers
I
on
could get behind
bangers.
that.
What about a little Kenny
Get
G?
behind that.
I like Kenny G.
Throw him in the mix.
Great podcast guest. Great podcast guest.
Remember that? We had
I would
Kenny
say
G
one of
on
the
the show.
all-time best podcast guests we've ever had.
Dude, the Tiger Woods stories, $20.
Incredible.
Make sure he doesn't owe you. All that stuff. He was fantastic. We got to get Kenny G back on here.
What's Kenny G
I
up
love
to?
that guy.
This is probably a pretty busy time for him. He's got to be doing holiday shows.
Oh, that the price for that's got to be through the roof.
It should be, man.
I
Pay that
still
man.
think, and it could be for any time of year, but Frankie, you're a bit musical. You're in a band. I think you should make a children's song or something that we can sell. Because every time I'm around Brendan now, or you, or anybody who's got kids, you guys are singing.
Oh,
You're just singing songs that you've heard on repeat over and over and over again. And if we can just cash in on that, I think we should. It'd be
now
weird.
You're starting to dip your toe into the Mr. Jerry territory here, because it is true. I mean,
Yeah.
the children entertainment world is outrageous, and it's so repetitive, and it just goes right into the back of your brain. I mean, Fisher Price has a stranglehold on this corner. We've got this little purple monkey playmat. I've sang it in the videos, but you hit it, you put it on the one volume, and you hit like the purple button, and it just starts. And I could go word for word for the 10 minutes of all the different songs it sings. Maybe you could be a purple monkey in a bubblegum tree. And it's nuts. It makes no sense. Purple monkey swinging back and forth from bubblegum trees, and all the animals play, the animals play, the animals. It's so easy.
Well,
like, I can't
that's what I
believe I
mean.
listened to this all day.
That is what I've gathered, where it doesn't have to make any sense.
No.
It doesn't have to make logical sense. It doesn't have to add up or have any sort of beginning and end and conclusion or anything. So I don't want to step on the Mr. Jerry stuff, because we love Jerry, and it's a real shame that none of that stuff ever came to light. But I just think that you could do it, because you got the music in you, and it's a gold mine for people.
Children's golf book we need to come out with. Because
Now we're talking.
I read Frankie Boy books every single night about different variations of things. Little bugs, dinosaurs, dino cousins, everything. The list goes on and on, right? Pizza my heart. I love you so much. Through thin crust or through thick crust or thin.
Dude,
Golf. I love you more than
book.
pepperoni. I promise you that's no baloney. I mean, come on now. It's the book looks like a pizza. So we need to come out with a golf one.
Yes, I think the quickest way for the guys on this screen to retire, if we ever wanted to do that, would be a children's book about golf.
I have a golf children's book, and all it is the words of golf. So you open it up, and it's a golf cart, and it says golf cart, but there's no like story to it.
Birdie.
Exactly, birdie, golf club, and there's just a bunch of things, and you say it to them, but there's no story. There doesn't even have to be a story. It could just be. It could be anything.
I like to tell a little bit of a story of some cool golf character and his buddy, and them like bouncing through this round of golf, and they're making shots, and introduce the terms, a double bogey, and eagle. They would love the eagle.
And it turns dark at the end. He sculls it across the green, loses $1 million.
Well, no.
whoa.
No. We don't want to scare the children now.
No.
But let it marinate in your brain, in all of our brains, and think if we can come up with something. Because I think that's a win.
Our merchandise team, as great as we love them, right? You rattled it all off, all the names. They're unbelievable. There's also a guy named Colin on that team. He's a big Islander fan, so I could give him a shout out. Okay. I've said onesies because, I'm telling you, man, I know that there's 1 million dads out there that are not in my stage of fatherhood, but like there's a million of them that are, and they're all big golf fans. And these onesies, I mean, we're ordering golf onesies on Amazon. I'm like, they've just got little greens on them and little putters and whatever. It's like, let's do a Barstool golf one. They're like, we're not going to get into the children's business. I'm like, well, we might need to, because this stuff is outrageous.
How are we not already in the children's business with Golf Dad?
Golf Dad's out. I know. All right, maybe coming to a store near you.
Have we done a bunch of father-son like polos too that have always done well?
We've got a couple. I'm more hung up on the onesie thing, so I mean, I'm probably only hung up on that. They've made polos for sure. We've done the children's stuff, and it always crushes.
That's what I mean.
It crushes.
Yeah. It's actually funny that we bring this up because my mom 3 days ago, sent me a link to the Barstool Golf Tiger Swing onesie that she wants me to get for my niece. So we have these on sale already. We just don't have. Look at this. Look at this thing.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So I'm saying, man, look at that. I would wear that.
Yeah, I guess I'm more thinking of like the pajama set, like the long sleeve. It's all like the zip up, like a real one that like, because that's like one that you kind of put them in, you bring them to a party or something. The one that like they're lounging around in all day long, the ones that are like comfy, they got the feet attached to them.
Okay.
Those are the ones I'm really talking about. They're going to hate this segment, our merchandise team. But I mean, they do the best job of all time. They'll probably get one done for us tomorrow.
They do an incredible job. We're just doing a little workshopping.
That's the insight that I don't have. I see a onesie. I think all onesie are created equal.
No, so those onesies are the ones they're great, right? But they're like you wear them once or twice because like you're just on the move. They spit up on that one. You're like, all right, but like there's these pajama ones that that's the one they're wearing all day long. I want to wear one. It's a full snuggie.
I don't think they're not gonna hate this segment. They're gonna hate that we use this segment to try to get out of the next merch meeting. That's what they're gonna.
That's
hate.
correct.
Sure. We already had it. We already had it on the podcast.
Big thanks to everybody, man. I can't wait to see all that gear all over the place going into next year in the Barstool Classics and just being around town. We appreciate it very, very, very much. And, I got to just give a huge thank you to that Tiger Swing Progression crew neck. That thing, it is really continued to solidify its spot in the rafters. It has moved right into the middle. It's got the biggest flag, the biggest jersey up there. Can't believe that might be the only thing on there. Just an unbelievable item. People continue to buy it.
Tiger Woods hasn't stepped competitively onto a golf course in 100 years, and that thing is still our number one seller. Now, maybe with Lane Kiffin at LSU, Tigers are really in the news. We really got to pump these things out. I really just think it's people who are like, oh, I like that design, and I'm going to buy it. I don't know how much connection there is to Tiger Woods anymore, but that thing sells.
Yeah, that one sweater being our number one seller for 4 years, and like also the merchandise store increasing in sales each year, which means that has to keep building year over year without any promotion or anything, is outrageous. It's an anomaly that we did not see coming. So that's exciting stuff. But yeah, we do still have stuff on the Barstool store. We definitely like changed the strategy this year where we didn't sell out of everything. So there's stuff that's still available. Even if you didn't get it for 20% off, you can still get those last minute items for Christmas, for Hanukkah, for any holiday that you might be celebrating this upcoming weeks. The Golf Dad whiskey set sold out, but then we restocked it right away. They were like, whoa! It was like within 20 minutes, it was already on a wait list. So then we got it back up later that night. I think we kind of lost a couple people on that rebuy, so there's still a couple sets available. So make sure you go and grab those. Awesome gifting. I mean, just as good as it gets. Just pure class. It's as easy as it gets too. Like you just give that to someone. It's a great gift. You have to worry about their size. You don't have to worry about what they already own. Bang! You just give that box to them, and they're like, "This is awesome."
Yeah, and this year I would say we went with not as many items, and like Frankie said, like more quantity and more just like focusing heavily on less items. And so you're right, they didn't necessarily like sell out, and we could sell them throughout the beginning of next year as well, which we're excited about. A lot of cool evergreen stuff. But the point is, thanks to everybody, the 20% off for 4 days straight means a lot. So we very much appreciate it. I know Trent brought up the Lane Kiffin thing. I don't think I've ever written a whole lot of college football stuff down on the outline. That one I put on here. That one what a saga, man. What an absolute saga. Even as a guy that doesn't pay attention to a ton of college football, if anything, I'm a Mizzou fan. My parents went to Mizzou. They met at Mizzou. So, like, Mizzou's been pretty good the last couple of years, but otherwise, never been, like, the biggest college football or NFL. We don't have teams, St. Louis, the whole deal. That saga is it's all time. The coaching carousel and the whole deal, everybody commenting about the rules they need to change. I watched Saban go through it. Everything he says just sounded like the most logical thing in history, but pretty obsessed with the saga, concluding with the people flipping him off and booing him. And then an hour later, the videos come of everybody welcoming him and like celebrating him. It's just awesome. It's awesome.
They also had Marty Smith, I believe is his name, from ESPN in Oxford, Mississippi. And he was there for 3 weeks and didn't spend any time with his family over the holidays and was being held hostage by Lane Kiffin's decision-making, where Lane was just like, I'm going to make this decision at some point. And then there was this really long meeting that took forever and we still didn't have an answer. And yeah, it's rare. I mean, I don't know how rare for college football, but it took over the sports cycle. Everything that you saw was about Lane Kiffin. And when you're tracking planes and when people are booing people who are getting onto private jets, like that's the essence of college football. That's how strong that fandom is. They're just like, if this guy's going to leave town, we're going to find his plane, show up, and boo him as he leaves. It was an incredible story.
From an outsider's perspective, someone that doesn't really know too much about it at all, I always thought Lane Kiffin was kind of a joke in terms of the coaching tree. Like, I didn't know that he was this very high sought after name. I know that he has a decent amount of success at Ole Miss. I actually went to an Ole Miss Georgia game last year. Saw Jackson Dart, saw Lane Kiffin. They won the game. Everyone stormed the field. Big Rob helped like bring the goal post, the field goal post down to the river and stuff. It was nuts. But I mean, I understand that he's had recent success, but I always thought of that name as just like a big name, but never really brought in any real success in terms of a school. But now getting the LSU job, it's a top 3 job in all of college football. I mean, the amount of money he's going to be getting for recruiting, you're taking over this huge program. I just didn't think Lane Kiffin was that guy. I think if you would have told me that 6 years ago, I would have been stunned.
I think it comes in cycles. Oh yeah, Ryan Richmond, please.
Most of the joke part comes from he's done this before. Like he's bouncing around from school to school. He left Tennessee after like 1 year to go to USC. He makes scumbag moves, I guess. Like he'll be like, I'm
He's
here
a hoe,
forever.
right?
And then
he's a hoe.
and then he just bounces. He's always kind of been a good coach, but he kind of like, you can't trust him, I guess. So he kind of had to
but not good enough to get his program to where it needs to be, where he would stay, right? It's just enough. He's like one of those guys on the dead, like I don't know, like Anthony Duclair on the Islanders has been on like 5 different teams. He keeps getting traded at the deadline. He's good enough for teams to want him at the deadline, and then he's not great enough to sign long term. I feel like Lane Kiffin's that kind of guy where it's like every time he comes there, it's like, oh, it's a great pickup. And then after a year, he's moving somewhere else because it might not be the right fit.
I think Ole Miss has really changed it because the whole NIL thing, like Ole Miss is in the gutter. They've never been in national championship conversation, and he brought them all the way there. Like doing that at Ole Miss is a pretty big deal. So
here's what I don't get. It's like, at what level do you reach where you've gotten the job and you want this to now be your legacy? Like for me, I get LSU. LSU is fucking LSU, but having the opportunity, like Ole Miss is a fucking name, and like as you say, and the fact that they're national championship contenders, and like and then the fact that you're going to be, after, it wasn't like he was there for a year, like 6 years. You built the program to like the last couple of years. They've been fantastic. This year, again, they're still in it. They have a chance to win the national title. Like, to me, it almost felt like this is the one, dude. Like, this is the one now. You're the guy. You could be the guy for 25 years, and you could turn Ole Miss into Alabama or LSU, and then they can become dog shit. LSU could be dog shit while you, Ole Miss, are the new LSU. Like, I guess I just am like so amazed that that's not the pathway and that just leaving is the pathway.
That to me is what NIL changed, where in the old days when they weren't paying the players, LSU, Alabama, Georgia, those are the jobs you want because people want to go play there. You can get the talent and you can get the guys who are going to win you a national championship. Now, if you just pay the guys, they'll come play. Like that, it's the same as professional sports. If you pay them, they will come to Ole Miss and you can build a juggernaut. I am with you. I don't understand. Like, you can build what LSU has built at Ole Miss now, the way that everything is structured. There's no, like, there's certainly, it's prestigious to be the LSU coach, but I think that is changing. I mean, clearly not because Lane Kiffin jumped there, but I think what you're saying is true, where you can build these big programs at the place that you are at, even if it's a mid-tier program right now, if you get the support, if you get the boosters, if you get the money, you can just get the same players that were going to go play at an LSU and Georgia and Alabama anyway.
I think the reality is that they just don't get the money, right? I mean, like you could say that about any team in the world. If you just get the money, you'll be the best. But I think LSU is just getting the most money. Isn't he getting like $100 million? I mean, he's just going to get so much money.
Yeah, he's going to make
you
a
say
lot
about literally. You can say that about Hofstra University. Bring the college football team back. I mean, they haven't had a team since freaking Wayne Corbett.
I just think he's done such a good job of building it, and he's Lane Kiffin, and it's like, if you want this to be good and you want me to stay, show me the money.
So one thing I will say is, even though the NIL stuff is true, I think at LSU there's a baseline of recruits that you are automatically getting just because you're LSU. There's so many 5 stars in the state of Louisiana.
Yeah,
Ole Miss guys, no matter how much money they have, they're just not getting those guys. So I think he had to build his teams through the transfer portal a lot. So it's basically like there's a floor for recruits, I guess is what I'm saying at LSU. You're not getting at Ole Miss.
And I don't know enough about it, so this is kind of like nice that we're able to bounce this off Ryan Richardson, and you can either know it all or just act like you do, and then we'll move on. But my thing is like with Ole Miss, like wasn't there a point where LSU was what Ole Miss is now, and then someone brought them to the point where they're fucking LSU? And you could say the same thing about Ohio State, or the same thing about it might have been in the 60s, it might have been in the 80s, might have been in the early 2000s, but like that at some point you get to that, someone brings you out of it and you're at that level where you're like a fucking powerhouse, and people look back and be like, that was Lane Kiffin. The stadium's named after him. He's the fucking dog that brought us here.
That's a good point. I mean, yeah, at some point every team has to go somewhere.
I want to say it was like Nick Saban in the early 2000s at LSU, where he was just like, this is a fucking motherfucker of a program now. I don't know enough about it either. I just know that the story of Lane Kiffin just getting on a plane and people booing him was absolute theater over the weekend.
Dude,
incredible.
It was awesome. That was awesome. And now it's just, I think Dave had like the perfect tweet about it where he's like, this is not 1 week of content. This is now, we're going to have years of this context being phenomenal. Being like, remember when that guy shit on Ole Miss after being there for 6 years, didn't even take him through the playoff run? And then here's what we're getting. It's either amazing and like they're dummying Ole Miss, LSU is in a year or two, and they're laughing, or it's horrific and it's Brian Kelly and they're like, I can't believe he went from this plane to that plane, housewife, all this stuff. It's just going to deliver for a long time. That is why college football is awesome.
I think LSU goes to Ole Miss next year, which will be awesome.
I saw that. I think it was like October 5th or something.
Ole Miss wins this year.
Oh,
that would be
that
really
new guy. I love the new guy. Or not new guy, I guess, like the guy that they promoted immediately to permanent head coach. I liked him. Like Goldings or something like that, whatever his name was. They
just rolled Lane Kiffin's clothing out into the street. It was on like a hanger, and they just pushed it out the door, and it was just sitting there. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like college football in that regard. There really isn't. Everything else is just, I don't know. It's, you pay a guy and he goes there, and college football has all of these rivalries built in, and these coaches jumping and getting huge payouts, and there's really nothing like it.
No. So I guess my question then would be on the LSU front with the rules and everything. Like, is there no world where LSU could have just hired him after the national championship game?
Transfer portal window opens up before the playoff ends, so it's kind of crucial to get the job before the season ends, because all the guys hop in the portal and you basically can't recruit them if you wait all the way till the end of the season. That's incredibly
stupid. That's stupid. They should open that thing after.
I also just watch all this stuff as an Iowa football fan, and we're just never involved in any of this stuff. Kirk Ferentz has been there for 28 years, and it's the same sort of team every year. We're kind of good. We're kind of not. Maybe they'll talk about us going to the playoff early in the season. We'll have a couple of dumb losses, and then it's over. Then what goes on in the South is next level shit.
And still, like, you got Michigan and Ohio State, like, kind of being the big dogs of the whole damn thing over the last 50 years. It's like funny that all kind of the publicity gets to these SEC schools, and the northern states, the cold weather states, have been dominating.
If you're a last minute shopper like me, like all of us, I'm sure you know the feeling. Shelves are empty, ideas are running really, really low. Aura Frames is the solution with a gift that feels very personal. I know Frankie's been utilizing these with his family, loves them. It's a really, really good gift idea this holiday season.
It's a digital frame. You gift it to someone in your life that wants to see photos of you. You don't have to be there to actually upload them. You can do them straight from the app. The Aura app is incredibly easy and efficient. We have an Aura frame at our parents' house, at her parents' house, at our sister's house, at our house, and everyone kind of uploads it from the same app, and it goes to all these different frames, and it's so easy. And it also becomes its own little social media app in terms of Don, my father-in-law, will add a photo, and then you can like it and comment on it, and you know that that's going to his frame, so he's seeing it in real life, and we get to see it digitally. It's awesome. It is absolutely the best gift you can possibly get. I've had this before they were a partner and a sponsor, so I mean the Aura frame is a perfect gift, especially now when you're last minute shopping.
It's something you can buy at the last minute that still feels like you thought about it, and that's really a huge perk. You know what I mean?
Customized gifts, especially if you preload all the photos in there as they open up the box, which you can do. It's like, wow, they're looking at you like, who the hell are you? Like, what a gift this is. And it's so easy.
Every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. Keep adding from anywhere, anytime. You can't wrap togetherness, but you can frame it. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using our promo code FOREPLAY at checkout. That's AURA, frames.com. Promo code FOREPLAY, auraframes.com, promo code FOREPLAY. The deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. The show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Rewriting traditions therapy can give you the space to create new, meaningful traditions, providing clarity amid the holiday chaos. The holidays are a time of traditions. Some people have many in their family, while some have none or are just beginning their own. Incorporating therapy into your new or existing traditions can help ensure you take time for yourself during what can be a very joyful but sometimes hectic and chaotic, lonely time of the year. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and our 12-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means we typically get it right the first time. BetterHelp's important, gentlemen. You got to work on your brain, on your emotions, on having everything. We go to the gym, we go to the range, work on our swings, work on all that stuff. You got to work on your brain.
Yeah, I mean, people should utilize therapy throughout the year, but right now in particular can be incredibly stressful. You got to maybe see family members that drive you crazy, or just the pressure of buying gifts and what to get and where you're. All of it is very, very stressful. So therapy helps. BetterHelp can help you do all the things, get matched up, and I think it can go a long way. Just talk to somebody about how stressful this time of year is. Goes a long way.
Also, the holidays just bring along a lot of negative thoughts, where it's like you miss your family that's not there around or whatever, and there's always someone there. You might not have anyone to talk to anymore. There's always someone there to talk to, and especially now, and I don't know if this is a true diagnosis, but they call it seasonal depression, and that might sometimes be used as a social media kind of grab, but there is a truth to it where you're not able to go outside as much. It's freezing cold. There's not as many things to do. You're stuck inside. You might not be talking to as many people as you could during the warmer, more eventful months. So make sure you go on BetterHelp, and there's always going to be someone there to kind of talk you through whatever you're going through. And this is definitely a time, and that's why they're a sponsor during these types of December shows. This is definitely a time where it ramps up. So don't feel like you're the only one that needs help. Like, they are literally a national wide brand that's helping so many people, especially people at Barstool, because they're the official partner of Barstool Sports. So we've used them for years.
This December, start a new tradition by taking care of you. Our listeners get 10% off at betterhelp.com/4. That's better, HELP.com/4, betterhelp.com/4. Couple administrative notes. We've got our Nick Taylor match on Wednesday of this week. If folks remember, a few weeks ago we had Nick Taylor on the podcast. He's the man. We spent like 2 days with him. He came to the Barstool Classic and was doing the old single swing watching people hit closest to the pin from 80 yards or so. He had a couple beers with us at DraftKings after we played a match with him, and he is a winner at TPC Scottsdale at the WM Phoenix Open, a recent winner, and we played him on the stadium course. So that's coming out on Wednesday. Adidas set that up. They've been phenomenal with hooking us up with guys. So I think people are going to love Nick Taylor and be incredibly impressed with his golf game out there.
Yeah, that he really plays well there, and I think that it really highlights how good these guys truly are. This is a PGA Tour majorly difficult, I would say, venue for us to play. Like it when you show how good he can play and how bad we can play, like that change, that disparity between the way that we can both attack that golf course. I feel like at TPC Scottsdale, it's larger than any other place that we've played because it's so tight and there are so many hard shots and difficult shots you have to hit out there. He was fairway, green, putting for birdie almost every single hole. Now, how did we respond to that? You're going to have to wait and see. But like, it really opens your eyes to just how good these guys are. And I know we've done golf matches with all these guys, so it's apparent at every single place. But for some reason at that golf course, it's just the rough was so thick. It's so tight. Like there's just something about that place that makes me feel really uneasy. And I can't believe that guys can go out there and play against the best of the best and go out and perform to a level of winning. Like he's won out there. It's nuts to me.
And for us, it was just like long,
it's so
like
long.
Because I was asking him about like how he, I was like, oh yeah, when you won here, like, did you go crazy low? And he was like, yeah, I want to say I was in the 20 somethings under. And he's like, and I shot 60 one day. And I was like, yeah,
outrageous,
60. Dude. He shot 11 under in one of his professional rounds out there. And again,
that's what I mean. Like that place is not notoriously, it has very, very low numbers. And it's even hard. Like to me, it's one of the hardest places I've played since doing foreplay. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
I don't know how they're so good out there. It shouldn't be the easiest course that they play. Like it should be fucking impossible.
Rough was thick out there when we played.
Thick. Came right out of the gate. It was thick. So Nick Taylor's coming out Wednesday, and then next week we have a TGL video where we played with Sahith Theegala. So we'll hype that up a little bit more next week, but just a little preview of what's coming out on the channel here in December as we approach Christmas and New Year's and the whole deal. While we're talking about the tour and the WM Phoenix Open and all that, some pretty big talks about huge changes potentially to the PGA Tour schedule. If folks recall, when Brian Rolapp was introduced as the new head of the PGA Tour, he's from the NFL. He was in a lot of ways kind of looked at as the potential heir to the throne of Roger Goodell, but didn't get to that point because of Roger Goodell still there. Whatever, people have looked up, but he was behind a lot of changes to the NFL, Thursday Night Football kinds of stuff. Came over to the PGA Tour, promised changes, promised kind of a clean slate on a lot of their media stuff, and that he's looking at any and all options to kind of maximize and optimize the PGA Tour's exposure and all of that. So the latest, Harris English, a couple weeks ago, I believe, said in an interview, because he's part of the advisory player council, that he thinks he said, I think that what they're going to change down the road, maybe in 2027, is have all the tournaments be equal and not have the 8 elevated events. And the regular events, they'll have 20 or 22 events that are all the same. I think that's a good model to have. And then there's a couple quotes as well about the PGA Tour not going up against the NFL. People have pulled Tiger Woods quotes from the 2000s. They pulled Rory McIlroy quote from 2014, and then recent quotes from Harris English saying that there could potentially be a post Super Bowl, which would be a mid or late February start to the PGA Tour, which would eliminate the Hawaii swing. It would eliminate a good chunk of the West Coast swing, and then they would essentially drop, almost half of their events. They would do bye weeks after all of the majors and do a kind of a version of a limited schedule that's 20 or 22 events, no elevated. They're all kind of elevated in this case because there's not as many of them, and that these are kind of being whispered as the new changes for the PGA Tour.
Is this a soft rollout of what could be a future collaboration or merger between LIV and PGA Tour, where they're trying to carve out a nice chunk of the season for that future endeavor, whatever that looks like?
I think they're not talking to Live at all.
Okay.
I have no idea. I think nobody knows. My feeling is that they're not at all. I think I'm surprised because I think we're all in favor of this, right?
Yes.
Less events. There's this whole, I think it was Brian Harmon on our show who was like, hey, guess what? The XFL's never worked. All other professional football, it has never worked because we as much as it sounds silly, we need football to be gone so that when it comes back and when it's there, it's that much more special. And with the PGA Tour, we've always laughed at you don't even have time to celebrate, whatever. They win on Sunday, they're in a practice round on Monday or Tuesday, they're playing again on Thursday, and it's kind of monotonous and the whole deal. So I think that we're all kind of in favor of that. I guess, them making and harping on the point that they don't want to go up against the NFL would lead me to believe that they're not going to carve out room for the PGA Tour to go up against the NFL. But I kind of, Frankie, I do kind of think they're just going to cut, 30 or 40% of their events. That seems I don't know how you could do that from a viability standpoint, from a business wise.
Right. Leagues or tours or whoever very rarely get rid of events. They don't get rid of, MLB is 162 games. There's no real conversation about them doing less or the NBA doing less because that's just money that goes into people's pockets. Nobody ever talks about that. That's the one thing when you run a league, do not get rid of the gates. Don't get rid of the games because that's just everybody gets that money. And I did see Roy McIlroy. He had some comments recently about Live. He said that they're not. I don't think they're talking to Live about a merger at all. But it is surprising that they would the PGA Tour would get rid of events. I think that's stunning news. But I'm fully on board with it.
And baseball has kind of kicked around the idea of shortening up the season because of the actual time that they play it. They don't want to play all the way into late October, sometimes November. So you would actually play less games because some of those games that are happening in the middle of the season might not be getting as much ticket sales anyway. You have less games, more impact, which is quite literally what PGA Tour is probably thinking, saying, these other events will just get more eyeballs on it and we don't have to have it stretched across the whole entire year. So, I mean, it's not the first time that someone's thinking about it this way or a league is thinking about it this way, but I do get what you're saying. You want to just, when the league's doing well, you want to maximize as much exposure as you possibly can. And that would mean across the country, most events, more sponsors, the whole entire deal. The first thought when I saw the news was maybe it's just one of those things where they look at their schedule and they're like, we have to start cutting things out if we ever want to create some sort of team aspect during the off season or whatever. We need more months than we currently have. We need that January, February time to do something. So I don't know, maybe there's a lot at play behind the scenes that we don't know about, or it's just a matter of fact that they looked at the numbers and they say, this is costing us money and these other events are making us money. So let's just do the harsh thing and cut these out and make these other events just the biggest things we possibly can.
I mean, maybe from the player side, it makes sense, especially with the other sports where there's so many injuries now in football and in basketball and where less games probably makes sense. It's the owner side of it who make all the money where they're like, no, we're not getting rid of this stuff. But from a player side, if you do less tour events, I think the guys would be very into that because then they're like, all right, these are the events that I have to play in. They essentially become these elevated events that we've been dealing with for the last couple of years. And there's not those little events that they have to play in. So I think from the player side of it, it makes all the sense in the world. It's just been historically over the history of sports, you rarely take games away. You rarely take events away because that means less money.
Yeah. When I think about it, it is kind of nuts that they have elevated events. That's fucking crazy because that's saying that your other events are not elevated. That's saying right away that they're just not as good, not as big, not as meaningful. You're saying that with one word. Elevated events for these other 8 or whatever is oh, so you're saying you have 30 events that just aren't important? That's fucking nuts that you're doing
that. And they
that.
sold that how? Because it was there was quote unquote a mandatory, if you're top 50, you have to play in them essentially.
It was you have to, there's no, you're automatically in. There was no cut. and the purse was like guaranteed to be $20 million or something like that. And it was limited field, right? It was like only 70 people for most of them. So it's like you're making all this money. They were trying to entice it, right? Because like they couldn't really, when they have 40 events or whatever the hell it is, they can't really predict like when Rory and Scotty and Xander and Tommy are all going to play. And now, like with the elevated events, it was like, no, we know when they're all going to play.
Right.
And it's going to be a big deal. But that, just from a pure principle standpoint, is saying you have too many events. If you have to go out there and declare that 8 of them are important and the other 30 just aren't that important. Like that's
but the other 30 are essential to the ecosystem and like and what the PGA Tour is. Like you need those guys from 60 to 120 to have a chance to stay on the tour. You can't, then it just becomes the top 50 tour. So I mean, I get what they're trying to do. You need to have the other events, but like the Rocket Mortgage is never going to be an elevated event, but you need those guys to be able to play in it. That's why the PGA Tour is what it is. They're in a tough spot where they have to call it the dog shit tournament. I mean, we can go back to like whatever the Iowa one, but like
Illinois.
You don't want to say it, but like you have to have it. You know what I mean? Like you just have to have those events.
Right. That's a good point, because like when I'm saying, when I was like the from a player perspective, they would want this. That's in golf. That's for the top players that would be into that. I think for the players that you're talking about, they love these other events because
they need them.
Because they need them and they love them because they're not. Sometimes Rory isn't there. Usually Rory isn't there. Scotty isn't there. So you're like, all right, maybe I can make some money this week. So from that side of it, it actually, I see what you're saying. That's actually interesting.
No, it is. And I, us as like golfers that have been lucky enough in this gig to like hear a lot of the stories and the Joel Damons and the Alistair Dohertys and a bunch of the winners that have come up in the fall series or in some of the early part of the year events that aren't huge names, that you find out like the journey that they went through. Monday Q doing all his, like we love and respect all that, and those events are enormous for them. I think Brian Rolapp doesn't give a fuck about any of those people.
No.
Like, I think really
it might be true.
He's sitting there going like, okay, that's beautiful for the history of golf. That's lovely, but like I'm trying to get Rory and Scotty and these guys to attend 20 events a year and like not bitch about the schedule. So I'm going to do buys after majors. I'm going to do 20 events a year on the tour that they show up to, like 16 of them. These guys, they're all going to be there. And my money and my market and my marketability is driven by like 20 people showing up. I don't really care about the 20th to the 180th. And that's shitty, but like that's probably where he's coming from.
And the truth is, you get rid of those other events. You have events where the big guys are going to play. Your average viewed tournament, that number goes up because you're getting rid of the ones that are maybe pulling the average down. You're optimizing the ones where the numbers go up, and then you can just sell higher numbers to sponsors. If we're looking at it from just like a cut and dry bottom line, that's probably at least one aspect of what he's looking at.
Yeah. I mean, you start to go away from what the PGA Tour is, and this is kind of what Liv tried to do, where they're like, we're going to just pay the biggest stars. The viewership's only going to care about those people, and we don't care about building out stars in these other events. We don't care about the number 97th player in the world getting hot, playing, the John Deere Classic and winning, and all of a sudden becoming a household name. Like they just like that. That was Liv's point, and now you're telling me at the PGA Tour, and we don't know for sure. We're just talking. There's a couple guys talking here, and we're just trying to give our opinion on it. But like, if you think that maybe the new CEO of the PGA Tour's his mindset going in is we need to make as much money off of the biggest players as possible, and like kind of screw the rest of, I would say the bottom third of the PGA Tour membership now has less of a chance to make a name for themselves because of the new schedule. Like that, you start to teeter away from what we've been, them fighting the good fight on behalf of just like what the PGA Tour stands for. Because the guys are going to get screwed by this, right? I haven't seen any like reaction or backlash based off it, but there's going to be a good section or a good chunk of the PGA Tour membership that does get screwed by minimum events, right? Minimal events.
Yeah, I mean, there would just be there'd be basically less PGA Tour players, like really. I mean,
are they going to give out less cards?
They would have to. I mean, they're already allocating cards in a tougher way, right? Like Corn Ferry Tour, we've seen it where it went from like top 30 to top 20. It went from, final stages coming up. It used to be top 5 and ties get their tour card. Now it's just top 5. So like they've already kind of done the reallocation, but they have added PGA Tour U. So like they've kind of like played with it a little bit. But yeah, I would just think right away from going to, how many events they have now? 40 or something like that, almost every week with like a few exceptions. There's 52 weeks in a year. So maybe they have 40 plus events, 45 events, but like going down to 22, yeah, you're just going to run out of room. And I just looked, it was the Amex last year or this year, 2025, which is, a California event in like mid-January, is the one where they had 232,000 viewers for like the final round when Sepp Straka, and like that got shit on. And I remember we were all kind of panicking at the time. We were still, I believe, doing the Live Tour, more of that like debate. Are they going to come together? And the resurgence in the views throughout the year has been phenomenal. But I do think that they worry about like that, the Torrey Pines event when like Tiger doesn't play in it, like the Sony Open. Like I don't know that those events are just like driving where their thinking might be, okay, let's give these guys 3 months. There's like no event for 3 months. And then the week after the Super Bowl, imagine they like kick off the PGA Tour season with the WM Phoenix Open. And it's like, oh shit, everybody's here. Like, let's go. It's kind of like what I think Rollap's getting hyped up about.
Ryan Richardson, can we do some Googling, maybe throw it up on the screen? Like, show me 2 years ago, the 2023 PGA Tour schedule and who won all those events. And was there anyone that won, the Sony Open or was there a star that is now currently a big name that benefited from playing in one of those events? Because if this is a shockingly like bad list of players that won these because that was the first year that they introduced the elevated events, right? Was it 2 years ago?
I believe so. They were called like signature events.
Events,
or maybe they're called signature.
One of the Hawaii ones, it's the Tournament of Champions. So you're going to get a big name probably normally out of. It used to be the Tournament of Champions. It's not anymore, but so that field is like pretty full of names you're going to know. So you're saying
saying like who, like what kind of guys are we going to be missing out on winning events, and like did those guys by winning those events end up becoming bigger names, which is what the PGA Tour has always been. You got like, didn't like Dunlop win the Amex one year? One of the rookies ended up winning out there
as an amateur.
Right? Like there's just opportunities for guys to make their name. It's just you start to flip flop. You start to get into that Rory, like you were fighting one side, and now you're fighting the other side because it's just the way the climate kind of changed. But are we getting that? Do we have that list?
I think this is it. Yeah.
Okay.
Starts.
Okay. Here we
Century.
go. John Rahm. So John Rahm won the Century in 2023.
Big name.
Siwoo Kim, John Rahm, Max Homa, Justin Rose. All right, there's nothing no one's really sticking out to me yet. Chris Kirk. No, see, like that's what I mean. Like, did Chris Kirk use that win to like catapult him into a place where like you want to watch Chris Kirk play in a signature event? And this is no disrespect to anyone that we're going to start naming, but like, no, he didn't. This is in favor of what they're currently doing, I guess, is what I would say. Nico Echeverria.
Let's go, Nico.
Sam Burns.
Taylor Moore, Sam Burns, Matt Wallace. Yeah, like Matt Wallace hasn't really taken the last 2 years to really make a name for himself. Nick Hardy. Tony Finau hasn't really done much. He won 2 years ago in Mexico. We're doing this on YouTube, by the way, so you can just follow along with us. This is kind of like a Mike Francesa clip.
How many bowl games are there?
1, 2, 3. Victor Hovland, Nick Taylor. There he is.
I think. I just think from, and I don't know how solid are these? Is this just speculation that any of this is going to happen?
Rollap kind of commented on it after Harris English came out with it, so I would be confident saying this.
Lee Hodges won 2 years ago. Just
this is like a framework that they've discussed, but I don't think anything's solid at all.
I guess when I was looking at that list, I'm trying to see if names pop out that's like, whoa, that guy won that event. Like, you got to keep that. Like, look what he's turned into. And I guess what you end up seeing is it is a bunch of flyover state type tournaments. It really is.
Rude.
At the end of the day, it really it is eye opening, and they're running a business. So I mean, we'll see what ends up happening. You want the best product on TV. the TV deals. They all the broadcasting partners, they want the best product. They don't want to be spending money on someone where, you know, who was that Lee Hodges wins? Like, that's just not. I'm not turning off football to watch Lee Hodges come down the 18th hole and, you know, win whatever event that was. And this is going to come off unbelievably disrespectful, this whole segment. Just at some point, you have to be real.
I just wonder what the numbers say behind the scenes. Like, are they bleeding money? Is this they're hemorrhaging cash?
Putting on golf tournaments is so expensive. I got to assume
for sure.
that.
But I got to imagine the sponsorship dollars are pretty good. To me,
I think so too.
Yeah. This just seems like a full, like, optimization plan that they could maybe do. That roll app was like, what if we
3M
did it this way?
is a revenue bringing in event for the PGA Tour?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That's a good question.
I think it is, but I don't know. I don't have access to these numbers.
I think it is, but I wouldn't fully know. I mean, you know, you get this sponsor, you get commercial money, even if it's not like as crazy as a lot of the other events. You get the title sponsor and the side, you know, yeah, I think they probably turn a little bit of a profit on that event. I don't know. I'm not that confident in that.
No.
Again, I don't know. Like, I think a lot of this was sort of hearsay that was coming out, but like, so I don't know how specific they got. I did see like they would get rid of the events after majors.
No Harbor Town?
Or they would just move it, right? Like they would just kind of like, I think Harbor Town's kind of a staple that they're going to keep, but then like maybe they would get rid of the Shell Houston Open. You know, I don't know. Like I think.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. We'll see. I mean, you got new blood in the C-suite, so he's going to have to make some moves.
One touchdown can change everything. The crowd, the momentum, the game itself. It never gets old. Feel that same rush with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, where every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. Now live in my home state of Missouri, by the way. We do a little Thanksgiving discussion on this show. And, you know, I know all my friends out there in Missouri been extremely excited. This got passed, you know, a year or so ago. Maybe, or like a while ago, it feels like. Takes a little while to get everything up, running, you know, regulators, the whole thing. It's go time. DraftKings is now live in the state of Missouri. Missouri listeners, DraftKings Sportsbook is live there. And here's the best part. New customers bet $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. You can use our code, which is Fore, F-O-R-E. But DraftKings Sportsbook, I like it. I love it. We've been using it for a long time now, live in Missouri.
It's just fun, man. Like on Thanksgiving, we did all of us together. We did an underdog parlay for all the NFL games. There were 3 of them. I think it was Packers, Cowboys, Bengals were the underdogs, and they all won. And it hit, and everybody's together, and you're having a good time. So fun. So I mean, more holidays are coming up. Spending time with family. It's just a fun thing to do, and I would say give it a shot because it's fun.
I had an all-time one the other day. I bet Matthew Schaefer to have 2 shots on goal. He had 16 shot attempts. 1 hit the goalie, 1 shot on goal. Never seen anything like that in my entire life. Outrageous. Couldn't believe 16 shot attempts might be a record. 18 years old, 16 shot attempts. 1 hit the net. So many deflected, moving around, other guys getting shots on goal. It is what it is. But that's like what the DraftKings Sportsbook brings you is I had this little bit of action on a game. I had shots on goal. I'm watching it even more specifically than I usually would be if I didn't have that action on it. So much fun to kind of talk to your buddies about it, and everyone's kind of riding on that bet with you. DraftKings Sportsbook now live in Missouri. Great time to be in Missouri and get involved on that.
When your team hits the end zone, you could hit the payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code Fore, F-O-R-E. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Golf is hard, but protein is easy with one Hershey's Double Chocolate made with 18 grams of protein, only 1 gram of sugar to deliciously fuel your golf game. We talk about these all the time for a reason, because they actually are delicious. They actually have 18 grams of protein. They actually only have 1 gram of sugar, and they actually are the ideal snack for the golf course, for traveling, for having around the house, for Trent having in his left hand right now. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to have this right after we're done podcasting. Podcasting, people might not think so. Takes a lot out of you. You know, you're sitting there, you're
Exhausting.
talking a couple hours. It's tough, hard work. And I need to refuel with my one protein bar, double chocolate, my favorite flavor. I go between this and the peanut butter one and the Reese's one, but they're both delicious. Go pick them up. Like you said, travel, golf. You can fit it into pretty much any part of your life, and they're great.
It goes podcasting and then laying brick.
Yeah.
Then working in a cemetery. And then, but podcasting by far the hardest.
Hard.
One bars are incredible. Yesterday was rushing around trying to get to the golf course. Realized I didn't have this. It's such a common feeling and story now that we have one bars in the house. Like when I remember I hadn't eaten yet because so much is going on in the morning. We've got Frankie, the whole deal, and we're like moving him around, doing stuff. And then it's like, oh, I got to be somewhere at 12. That 11:30 feeling of what am I going to do right now? I'm starving. I'm not going to be able to eat until 2:00 in the afternoon. One bar thrown right into my hand. Wow. Eating it while I'm in the car, feeling just so much better with the protein in there, the no sugar, essentially the 1 gram of sugar, 18 grams of protein in the double chocolate. Couldn't have asked for a better snack to have around the house. Absolutely love it.
Buy the new one Hershey's double chocolate protein bar on Amazon. They're on Amazon. Protein just got delicious again. Buy the new one Hershey's double chocolate protein bar. Shout out to the top 3 ranked players in the world right now. That now that Tommy Fleetwood has gone from I think 4th or 5th up to 3rd, are all Taylormade athletes, and they are all, curated. Their golf bags are curated by the one and only Adrian Rietveld, who's a fantastic friend of the show. I saw online he's been getting a lot of love over the weekend now that Tommy elevated to number 3 because Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood, our great dear friend Adrian, who we love, who's the man who works really, really hard and bleeds results where he wears his heart on his sleeve. How these guys are playing affects the way food tastes. It affects his relationship with his wife. It affects everything. And he right now is responsible for the golf clubs that are in those guys' bags, and they are number 1, number 2, and number 3 in the world, all rocking Taylormade. Incredibly impressive stuff.
Also, Tommy uses Taylormade from driver down to the golf ball. Rory uses it from driver down to the golf ball as well, right? He uses the MG5 wedges now, doesn't he?
He might have one club that's not, but I'm not 100% sure. I think he kind of rotates different stuff sometimes.
Scotty's driver and irons and putter now.
Yeah.
He's got the spider. Those guys are all spider guys.
I think he just uses different wedges and a different ball. But, I mean, the point being, it's not like they're just picking that one club, because you look down the list and a lot of guys are using Taylormade drivers and fairway woods. They dominate their fairway woods and the drivers right now, especially in the top 10. But those guys, like having essentially full bags, is such a great look for Taylormade. I mean, they just got to be over the moon. Especially the golf ball, right? Because there are other competitors that like call themselves the number 1 golf ball in the world, but like, Rory McIlroy out there using a TP5. You got Tommy Fleetwood out there using a Pix. Like, what
he
are we
does rock
about?
the Pix. So good.
That's outrageous. I mean, they won the Ryder Cup using. Didn't they use the TP5X? I mean, Rory and Tommy. Like it's nuts. It's nuts what they're doing.
I mean, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. What a testament again to Taylormade with that they make. I know Taylormade is so good at the marketing and the customization and the branding. Everybody knows that, and you might be inclined to be like, oh, that's like they kind of do a smoke screen operation because they've got the putter head cover guy, and every month they're releasing really sick head covers that we're putting on our Instagram stories because they're awesome. And then you look and it's like, oh no, the number 1, the number 2, the number 3 ranked players on planet Earth that are winning the majors, that are winning the biggest events, that are winning the Ryder Cup together, like Frankie just said, are playing Taylormade. So, wow, what a company, what a performance. Adrian getting these guys so dialed. I love having him on the show and him kind of combing through that. If we could be a little Mickey Mouse here talking college football and we don't even know college football, but I like that we can get Adrian on here and get real nerdy and go nuts and bolts on loft and lie angles and shafts and what guys are using, and him grinding his ass off day in and day out, flying down to Texas to be with Scotty on the range so that if his driver fails because of the non-conforming and the face caves in, that he's got a backup, and then going out and winning the PGA Championship, like all of that, and seeing it pay off with these guys being number 1, 2, and 3 in the world is just awesome. That's so unbelievably impressive, man. I got to shout out David Puig, spelled Puig, but it's Puig, Puig. He won on the DP World Tour. It was his debut. He won this last weekend in Australia at the Aussie PGA. They've got the Aussie Open actually at Royal Melbourne this week. I saw Rory, Tommy, a bunch of the guys were already out there hitting. That course is awesome. We were there in 2019 when we had Old Man Golf Media versus us and put them in a home and all that. That was 6 years ago now. But David Puig, his I think it might be his fiance now, but maybe girlfriend. We can edit that. But she played in the LTP in the Let Them Play back in the day. He went to ASU. He actually came out and was following along and watching her play in the Let Them Play Classic. And he is my locker mate at Whisper Rock Golf Club. So Puig winning out at on the DP World Tour. He plays up there a bunch with John Rahm. He's Spanish. He's the second Spanish guy, only now with Chevy Ballesteros, to have won the Aussie PGA. But dude, he's kind of a wiry guy. You know, he's not walking around. He's not a bodybuilder, you wouldn't say. And he like flies John Rahm's ball by 10 or 20 yards, they say. Jeez. So he's just got insane speed. I saw Phil was putting some stuff out there about him because he's a live guy, but he's got like 190 mile an hour ball speed. And he's just the nicest guy. I love chatting with him. He's the one he always calls me Senor Barstool whenever he sees me up there. So he's a really good dude, and he broke through and won in his debut on the DP World Tour. So shout out to Puig.
Shout out to Puig. You got friends that are way better golfers than my friends. I played with Big Rob yesterday in the rain. He was in town for Thanksgiving. We went out in the rain. We tried to get 9 holes in a Colonial. And he's using his old like high school set that he was like the number 12 guy on our high school team. He's 6'5", kind of leaning over, no equipment. Asked me if he could wear jeans. He goes, can I wear dark jeans to the golf course? I'm like, why would the dark part mean anything? Those are just your nice jeans.
It might disguise the fact that they're jeans. I see
yeah,
where he's coming from there.
Trying to disguise them with the color. And just a couple, I didn't get them because it was raining so hard. I never got them on camera. But just a couple of swings that he produces are just, I've never played with a guy that makes me laugh out loud more after he makes contact than him. The ball does things you've never seen. Like he pulled one behind him yesterday off a tee. It hit this tree that was no joke 15 feet away from us so hard it sounded like a gunshot went off. And you just, right when he makes contact, you're like, whoa! It's just, something explodes, dude. It's like, if he played in a Pro-Am, people would die so fast. It would be, these things are missiles. They're gunshots going directly sideways from his contact. So just need to give a shout out to him because it was just a hell of a day out there.
Phenomenal. Hell yeah. The Skins game. So the on Friday morning, Black Friday, they kind of brought back the iconic Skins game. I watched a little bit of it. There's always parts as again a golf junkie, and when there's nothing else on, then I'm going to tune in and see kind of how it's going. Panther National, first of all, which is the JT Jack Nicklaus golf course, looks awesome. Actually, looks really, really sweet. It was like windy out there. I do like whenever kind of the announcing crew and is just quiet and you just get to listen to the guys kind of talk. It really is enjoyable, like background sort of like viewing for me. And we've said a million times over throughout our, career on here that like any more like golf content with these guys is better than like less. So I'm not going to be one of those guys that sits here and shits on it. I don't know that it had like all this juice or like a big takeover or that it was the most compelling watch in the history of the world, but I did have it on. I was curious how things were going. They did like carryovers. So they did it where I think everybody started with like $1 million. And then if someone won a skin, the amount that they won would get depleted from your amount and go towards them. So that kind of the totals were changing around and fluctuating. Xander ended up winning $0, which is very funny. They posted the clip of him with the check, but he was actually the star of the whole thing. As from what I was watching, he was funny. He was entertaining. He was self-deprecating out there, just like didn't have it, which is incredibly relatable. Captain Keegan dominated and won like 11 or 12 skins or something, and won like $3-something million and kind of cleaned up. But they brought back the skins. It was at Panther National, which is a very cool venue. And again, overall, I don't think it was like some massive social takeover where you couldn't miss it. But I did throw it on for a little bit while I was kind of traveling back home and found it better than having nothing on. So that's what I'll say.
Is that money they get to keep? Is that a stupid question? Is that real money?
It's gotta be, right?
Like, I wonder if they put up their own money or where they just bankrolled $1 million each.
If it were their own money, that's something they should have publicized, because we've talked about that. Like, if you're going to do matches where these guys play, the celebrities play, these pro guys play, make them put their own money up. That'd be interesting.
I would love that. I can't fathom that these guys were out there with the opportunity to go out there and like lose $1 million, like Xander losing $1 million. I just wouldn't see. I have to think that they're like prize purse for the budget for the event is $4 million, and they just give each guy $1 million, and then it fluctuates back and forth depending on who wins the skins. It would be much better if you could like literally, if you were losing money for sure,
right?
100%.
I thought it was smart. Keegan Bradley, get back out there. Just get in front of a camera. Let Shane Lowry give you a couple shots in terms of like, I think he said, what did Shane say? He made a putt against Keegan. He's like, I've been breaking Keegan's heart for the last couple of months. Get out there. Let the people see you. And that, that's already, I mean, the Sunday helped a lot at the Ryder Cup, but just knowing that you're just like not at home staring at a piece of luggage or something is good to have him out there and people seeing him,
have him just see the sun. Cause you just don't, like you said, you don't know what he's been doing ever since the loss. I think he's been taking it pretty hard, and no one deserves that. I mean, at the end of the day, we're on to the next one now. So it's nice to see him back in the mix. He played well, which also added to just the social banter of if he should have played on the Ryder Cup team, the whole deal. The guy's making a bunch of big putts, winning a bunch of money in the skins match. I mean, it quite simply didn't make any buzz on social media, and sometimes you have it, and sometimes you don't. We've done a million things that don't really capture over social, and then we do like the Internet Invitational, and it takes over the entire world of our entire world, and that's when you got something. I don't think the skins game is anything that has like too much legs. I mean, it's a nice thing to watch during the holidays. It's like you said, it's more golf from the best golfers in the world. Panther National was awesome. Shout out to JT for showing that place off, and he really talks about it pretty highly, and he's super passionate about it. And the course looks incredible. I'd love to play there one day. Like that was a place where I saw the clips. I'm like, wow, that one was really jumping out at me. And JT just got back surgery. I saw he's been posting about that as well.
So yeah, it was like you said, it wasn't all the juice, but it was kind of a fun little background watch is what I was saying. But yeah, JT, I don't know if we talked about JT, but he did announce whatever that was a month ago or so that he had back surgery. He only announced it relatively recently, but I think he's going to miss first month or so maybe of next year. It's kind of what he said, it sounds like.
Yeah, those back surgeries are scary. I mean, people really scare you into not getting back surgery. It's like the one thing you hear, like, oh, once you go under the knife, your life's going to be completely changed and ruined. At least that's what I've heard of. Like,
is that what they say?
You just don't want to touch it. Like, you just don't want to touch the back or the spine. I feel like you live your life like not ever wanting to get any procedure done on your back. But every golfer seems to get, not every golfer, but a lot of golfers seem to get that neck, that back of the neck and back surgery done. It is a scary thing, man.
Oh yeah, back
even
stuff.
The smallest neck, because I don't know. Anytime you have any sort of back pain or whatever, they tell you like do whatever you can to not get that surgery. Just because then it just throws everything off, right? It's just it's everything. It's your structure.
Back stuff is no bueno. Anybody who's ever had even like a little bit of back issue or back pain, it's debilitating. It just grabs you. You're right, because it's like your center. It's the center of you, and it controls everything. And to get the surgery, to not get the surgery, to rehab it, to anything with the back, I have a lot of sympathy for anybody, because that is, you move a little bit, you try to sleep, and it comes back on you. Horrible stuff.
Dude, I've never had any back issues ever. Like a month ago, I had maybe 3 days of like lower right back, very tight and kind of painful. And I remember, I was sleeping like I was a Lego. I was just like, you're like laying there trying to like keep it. And if you did, you'd fall asleep and move into a certain spot and it would wake you up because it hurt so badly. You'd be like, and you like couldn't get out of bed. Fucking sucks.
My dad had really bad back stuff when I was a young kid. I think he had a procedure done, and then they put him in like you're basically in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like shell that you have to walk around in, and it's the whole thing with backs is no bueno. We've obviously gone through it with our guy Tiger, but like, hopefully JT comes back fully healthy and it all works out because back stuff is touchy.
Oh yeah, I mean you like can't live your life with back pain.
RIP to a big name in the golf world, the Masters winner, 2-time major winner, formerly a guest of this podcast. Fuzzy Zoeller passed away at the age of 74 on Thanksgiving. I believe it was a heart attack. We had him on in 2019. I looked it up, May 2019. He was on with John Daly. We went down to Texas, myself and Trent, and had him on the show. He was the nicest guy. He's a great storyteller. He's a very charismatic guy. And, he passed away last week on I believe it was on Thanksgiving at the age of 74, far too young.
Yeah, I think we interviewed them. I think we were in Houston where we interviewed them. There was a senior tour event going on. And yeah, John Daly was down there. He pulled up his RV. And yeah, we sat down with Fuzzy and JD for like an hour.
Great character in the game of golf. Just always, making headlines throughout his whole entire career in the game. And just a real big name in this sport, and obviously gone too soon. I mean, 74 is still young nowadays, so rest in peace. Thinking of the family and the whole deal, and really just golf lost a big name.
Good nickname, guys. We talk about golf nicknames all the time. Fuzzy.
Yeah,
great.
That's a great one.
What's his first name?
I just looked it up. His first name is Frank.
Fuzzy. That's a great nickname.
Frank Urban Zoeller Jr.
Fuzzy.
Great.
Fuzzy.
He just looked like a fuzzy,
We just don't have those anymore. Doesn't.
I believe Fuzzy Zoeller, is the most recent person to win the Masters in their debut.
That's got to be so rare. How many?
Well, everyone talks about how you need to have course knowledge to win there. Yeah, so it's always the biggest thing.
I wonder how many of those guys there are who won the Masters in their debut.
Here's the beauty of that. There's pretty much. Yeah, I was just looking at that too. There's pretty much only one, because Horton Smith in 1934 and Gene Sarazen in 1935. I mean, those are like the first Masters ever.
Yeah,
so it's like
it was everybody's debut.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're all debuting. Fuzzy Zoeller in 1979 was the most recent most recent first ever appearance winner.
I wonder
was there someone recently?
Zalatoris, was he? Did he?
He was close.
When he finished second. Oh, Ludwig.
Yeah, that was
his first major ever.
That's right. But I remember that was Ludwig's first major ever. But I remember with the Willie Z, that was a big data golf thing where people were like, see, you can use data to learn where you're supposed to hit shots, even if it's your first performance in the event. And that was like a big deal.
Another guy with back issues, unfortunately.
Yeah.
God damn, back issues suck. Now I'm like nervous. I need to go
you're not supposed to be doing a lot of the sports. You're not supposed to be doing. Throw a baseball, you end up getting freaking Tommy John surgery.
Those
but
guys
golf
now,
in particular, you're like not moving. You're just twisting. You're torquing your whole entire spine. Your hips.
They do preemptive Tommy John.
Yeah.
Now I think what are you going to do? Preemptive back surgery, but I don't think you want to touch your back.
God, I hope I don't get back issues. What do I need to work out or something? Is there like some workouts we should be doing to prevent this shit?
Core lifting.
You got to work out your back and strengthen everything around the spine, and then it won't be I'm
not going to do that.
Over, and then it won't be compressing, and then your nerves won't get compressed in. But for me, I'm leaning over and I'm not working out, so I'm just I'm compressing. I'm not compressing the golf ball. I'm compressing my nerves.
I wonder how tired I would be if for one full day people made me have good posture. Like, would I be like exhausted?
Dude, when I wear a suit, my shoulders are killing me.
Oh yeah, suit makes you kind
of puts you in that spot.
Yeah. No, because I think I sit. I mean, I sit like a pile of potatoes all day. I just like sit here. I'm just hunched over. I'm watching TV like this. I'm doing the podcast like this. I'm on the toilet like this. Like if I had to for a full day sit with correct posture, I think I'd be exhausted.
Oh yeah.
Which is so sad. There's a
gas after like 45 minutes. You're just out of breath. Someone's like, "What's up?" I'm just sitting like I don't usually sit.
And it's the thing I do the most that I like to do is sit. Sitting is numero uno for me. I'd say more than laying down. Sitting is my favorite, and I don't do it the correct way, and that's why I like it.
They say you got to sit up with your chin up, and then you got to roll your shoulders and then just hold them. That's correct posture.
It sounds horrible, but it's the right thing to do.
And I've always been in
Like a
the
ferret.
like I've always had the thought that when I walk around with good posture, people think I'm an asshole because I'm trying to do it. So then I just like stop doing
Like
it.
you're peacocking a little bit.
If I walk into a coffee shop and I'm like walking with real good posture, everyone's like, "Look at this piece of shit."
You might
That's
get
my
in a fist
mental
fight in a
telling
hurry.
me that, but I don't think anyone would notice it. They'd just be like, "Oh, he looks." Like
I don't think so either. I think it's like feel versus real in golf, where you like think that you look ridiculous, but you just look like a normal person walking
Correct.
with decent posture.
Oh, we're way too far gone too. I don't know that you can correct it now. There's no way.
What do you mean?
I could correct my posture at 32 years old? Dude, it's done. What do you mean Ryan Richardson
Get one of
saying
these.
yes?
Get one of
Oh
these.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's freaking a Band-Aid on a
Man, bro.
freaking gunshot wound.
It helps your posture.
Yeah, but is it staying? I've done research on
Look
it.
at
I don't
that.
think you can freaking reverse this shit.
Dude, remember when we're shooting when we're filming 9 and 90s, you put your phone on like a magnetic stick.
Yeah.
And I keep it that way when I'm driving in the cart, and Frankie always laughs at me, but I'm scrolling, but I'm looking straight forward. And I think that's the
Game
future.
changing.
Because right now we're all, they call it tech neck. Everybody's looking down like this, and we're all just going to have humps. We're going to be the humpback of Notre Dame at some point. But if you
Mhm.
just keep it up, I think that's where the future is. It's screens that are eye level.
It's a good idea.
So
I like that.
Well, I think
Now
it's
imagine
also
just walking
that's
around
why
into
they're
the
doing the
restaurant, you're like-
glasses. Everything's going to be out there.
so we won't have to look down at anything.
Meta.
We need to get to the
Meta
glasses.
figured that all out. They're done looking down.
So you got LASIK, and then the world's going to switch to everybody has to wear glasses to access all their data.
LASIK's the best thing I've ever done in my life. I think about
Is it?
that every day.
I should do it.
It's the best. I wish I did it when I was fucking 16 years old.
Ryan Richardson, you ever think about doing it as a glasses guy?
Nope.
Bro,
Shaking his head
I like
no.
And
I like glasses.
I don't know why I did it because I don't usually jump in to stuff like that. Like I
No.
just said, I would never get back surgery because like I don't want to become like a vegetable or something. I was nervous, but Dr. Jeffrey Delarusso, I'm gonna give him another shout out. He was just like, I guarantee you this will be the best thing that happened in your life. And I went in there, he lasered my eye, and I walked out of there and I had 20/15 vision.
I think what pushed you to it was the baby, where you didn't want to wake up in
Yeah.
the middle of the night and like be fumbling for your glasses. And
Last night, Frankie boy woke up, and he was kind of like moving around. He had a binky in his crib, and he usually puts it in his mouth when he wants to put him back to sleep. And it fell out, and we're in there, dude. If I had to put my glasses on and I got up, I found it, I put it back in his mouth. I walked out of the room, and I went right back to sleep. Nothing changed in my life. I saw everything. I didn't bump my knee into anything. And also him just looking at me with the glasses. He's like always touches my face and I can see him perfectly. Dude, watching movies and falling asleep, being able to fall asleep while you're watching a movie is like such a privilege, man.
do you guys like The Holdovers, the movie?
Yeah, it's a great movie. Really good. It should be in everyone's
I
new
haven't
rotation.
seen the holdovers.
You got to watch it. All right, it's so
Okay,
good.
I have a
It's in my
recommendations
new-
list. Hold on.
It's in my new Christmas rotation.
Really good plane movie. Like you watch it on a plane. That's where I first watched it because it just makes you feel good, and it's not, you don't need to sit in front of the TV. It's not an action thriller. It's just
True.
it gets you from point A to B, and you feel real good about it.
Paul Giamatti is so good.
Just good acting, good story. It's
I might
filmed
watch it
kind of
again. I
like
watched
old
it-
school.
Yeah, it's old. It feels old. I think is a big selling point for me. It's like it's got an old warm feel to it.
Well, it's
but it
all
came out
about
2
the
years ago.
editing and the cinematography because there's a huge push now on social media about everyone's realizing that this new, that Joe Burrow clip where he's running out of of LSU. Speaking of, and it's like everything is kind of blurry behind him, and it's so focused in on just him.
Yeah.
A lot of these movies now, they're resorting just to that shot where everything in the background is blurry. Now, and Ryan, you might be able to even look it up. It's called something. It's like focal whatever, as opposed to wide focus. It's like the wide focus. I may be getting those two mixed up, but the wide focus, let's call it wide focus, was what you would watch in The Godfather or like all these old school movies where you weren't zoned in on just what was in front of you. it didn't look like that person was standing in front of a green screen. They were actually in their environment. And now when you see all these movies, the Marvel movies or anything, they'll run up to the top of a mountain and it's just them and like everything behind them. Even, even in like Marvel movies, when all those guys are coming behind them, it's really just focusing on Captain America. You know what I mean? It doesn't have that old school feel. So there's a strategy to it in filming, and they say that like the big time movies now, they're so used to like wanting to get those perfect HD 4K shots. They think that that's what everyone yearns for. But I do think if we can start throwing in a little bit more of those wide focus, like this is just the room and they're in it.
The Holdovers does a lot of that.
Yeah. I even think like Oppenheimer filmed it that way too, where it's like they're just in this room and everyone's in the same focus as the person that they're talking to in the courtroom. You know what I mean? It makes you feel like it's an old school movie a little bit.
Even in the Holdovers, like he'll be walking across campus and it's just a wide shot of him walking. Yes. It's not like, I think what you're talking about, they'd be on his face and he'd be going crazy. That's really interesting. That is.
Yeah.
You guys watching Landman?
No.
Yeah, Landman's been getting crazy hype. That's the one where that one scene where the daughter was like something about coming on her face or something like that.
What?
The daughter's pretty aggressive, but
bro, first season, she's talking to her dad, Billy Bob Thornton. I watched the scene, and he's like, "You're not doing anything you're not supposed to be doing, right?" She's like, "Daddy, like he ain't doing nothing. Like I already told him." You're not putting it in me. You got to put it on my face or something like that. And you're just like, what are we talking about? How is anyone taking this show seriously? Dude, I stopped. I mean, I'm a sicko, so I usually would watch that stuff. But I'm like, I care about this guy getting oil now? That's nuts.
Sweet heavens.
Sweet heavens is right. Sorry to the children listening, but
I've heard it's good, though. That is getting a ton of hype. Landman is getting a ton of hype.
I've heard it's great. Good. I've heard it's good.
That's the whole Taylor Sheridan world that I'm like not familiar with. That's him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right,
I'm deep in the weeds with I'm deep in the weeds with Stranger Things. So
interesting. That
came out. Great show. Like when you really think, because it's hard when it's 5-6 years down the line and there's so many seasons and so much time has gone by. But when you really think back to just like episode 1, season 1 to where it is now. Really fantastic show.
I got lost. I didn't get lost. I got lost in the sense that there was so many gaps and like I wasn't keeping up with it. I mean, the first couple of seasons are so good, and I'm sure it continued to be that way. But I just
without giving away too many spoilers, I just think they stole too many ideas from Harry Potter and like Game of Thrones. It's like the Duffer Brothers. We're basically like, these are the two coolest parts of Harry Potter and Game of Thrones, 2 of the most famous things of all time. And we're just going to put that in our show and everyone's going to love that too.
That's just inspiration though, no?
It's inspiration for sure. It is. But like, they're like, they're like Voldemort and White Walkers. Like those are 2 really cool characters. Let's just put those in our show.
So Voldemort and the White Walkers are in Stranger Things.
Yes.
That sounds awesome. See, now I'm
watch that.
No, there's just like there's one scene, and I mean this is spoilers, but there's one scene where like one of the guys just does this, and he like rises everyone, and he looks like a White Walker, and I'm like, what do we do? I looked around last night, and I go, what are we doing? You know what I mean? That's reserved for one show.
But that one show didn't do a very good job, so I'm down for a rerun on the White Walkers.
Yeah,
we didn't get enough White Walkers. At the end of Game of Thrones, it was like, this is gonna be the greatest war ever,
dude.
And then
sucked.
When they're freaking dragging that dragon out of the water, with however they got that chain, which is the funniest thing to ever wrap your head around, like how'd they get that chain? But you really thought you were watching something that you were going to remember for the rest of your life. I mean, we will remember for the rest of our life, probably for bad reasons, but you were like, this is a moment right now. They're taking this dragon out of the water and they're going to turn his eyes blue. The scene, the way they shot it, the music, just... Oh my God. And even like him rising everyone across the water, just the White Walker's fucked, dude. I was team White Walker.
Yeah, because all the other characters were assholes. They were just like mean to each other.
Every one of them.
Yeah, no, that stretch of like the final few episodes before the real stretch of final episodes was like, oh man, we really got something.
The end of the penultimate season, like the last 3 episodes of that, which I believe is when the dragon, like when they pull that dragon out of the water, and then like I think the last episode is when he like rips down the wall, and you're
Yeah.
just like, oh my fucking God, here we go. I'm in on this Stranger
There's a
Things.
wall in this Stranger Things episode.
Of course there is.
Dude, it's a wall. They're like, look at this wall.
Look at this.
Look at this huge wall. Is it made of ice?
It's made of like Stranger Things version of ice. Like it literally is like, like it's like what you would think of the Upside Down having ice. That's what this wall looked like, and it went for miles up in the air.
Wow, sounds like
it's ridiculous. Like I was like, what's next? Are we gonna get a Godfather scene in here? Is he gonna bring him into a freaking room? Like I don't know. I don't know.
Let's do a little voicemail action from the gallery. I believe Ryan Richardson's got a couple voicemails from the folks, brought to you by Truly Unruly. Reminder that the phone number is 646-685-4717. If you would like to leave us a voicemail for the show, again, that is 646-685-4717. Truly Unruly. It's 8% ABV. It is 100% delicious. They are the sponsor of From the Gallery. You can make your dreams come true with this stuff. 8% alc, but still light, still refreshing. Only 1 gram of sugar, only 4 grams of carbs. Made flavorfully, packed with fun, exciting flavor. Make your dreams come true and get Unruly at a store near you.
So this one isn't a question, but it's a follow-up on last week's. So we'll just play that one real quick.
All right.
How's it going, gentlemen? This is Jason out in Southern California. Hey, look, I'm listening to your podcast episode right now, and the guy's talking about the hole-in-one or getting married on that day, and I have some insight on that. So, although not on my wedding day, 3 days after on my honeymoon, I have my one and only hole-in-one. And my wife couldn't be happier that it didn't happen on something like our wedding day, because it haunts her to this day that the best part of our week we got married was my hole-in-one and not our wedding. She says that all the time to strangers or anybody, friends we talk about, find out I have a hole-in-one. She always throws that in there just to get maybe a little jab at me. I love my wife and my children more than anything, and there will be nothing that really trumps that. But having that hole-in-one in my back pocket, that is forever, boys. Also, that hole-in-one was on the Princeville Mackay golf course, par 3, third hole in the island of Kauai that I know you boys have been on to before. So, great time.
Isn't that Princeville Mackay one that we were hitting those like extra shots off the beach? We were trying to film them with the good guys. We were trying, like Bubby was trying to hit that.
Oh, was that golf course?
I could have sworn. It's either that one or it's the one that was like couldn't be more on the ocean, where we were looking out on that one tee box and we were like, what the hell? I had that spam sandwich.
I think that might be actually what it is. I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, all of the holes that we've listed are great holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say you might be right, Trent. That might be that like third hole, that way downhill one that
I hit an incredible shot on that hole.
Yeah, yes. And
did
dude, weren't like people like cutting holes in the fence to the right of it, and they're like, people have been stealing golf clubs around here?
That's the hole I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I think that was Princeville Mackay.
But anyways, congratulations.
Yeah, no, I see what he's saying, where it's like every time you talk about your honeymoon or where'd you guys go on your honeymoon? Dude, I got to tell you, I got a hole-in-one. It's like that's the first thing you're saying.
Yeah.
For sure. I got a hole-in-one.
But what else is supposed to happen on a honeymoon? You know, you're not going to say, like, I don't know. People ask me about my honeymoon. I went to Italy.
You want to get into the details of what's going on?
I'm just saying, like, you know, making a hole-in-one just adds to it. It doesn't take away from it.
You're talking about Landman again?
Yeah. Put it on my face. Holy smokes.
No, yeah, honeymoons. Yeah, like what's the takeaway from a honeymoon? Is it just like it's probably where you went, right?
100%.
Yeah. But if you get a hole
Went
in
to
one,
Hawaii. Dude, I played golf, made a hole-in-one. Wow.
Right. Whoa.
That's it.
Princeville Mackay.
Dude, that's the one. That's the downhill one.
Yep, that's it.
That's
gotta be it.
That was a great hole, just because I hit a really great shot. That's my full memory of that hole.
You did hit an excellent shot on there. I remember.
Garrett's going crazy. It was fun. And then the next hole is that uphill par.
All right, I have the quote. So hide your children at this point. I've got the quote from Landman.
Holy smoke!
Okay.
he goes, he's talking to his daughter, and she goes, "We have a rule, Daddy. If he doesn't in me, he can anywhere on me." That's in Landman.
Yeah.
You can maybe bleep out those hard C's there, Ryan, every time I say them, just because, now I'm a father. I don't really want that stuff going out there, but
is this a show with nudity? Is it
I don't know.
Not really.
What type of show is it?
Like,
Dude, I think KFC did a 1 minute man after that. He was like, "Jiminy Crickets, what is going on in this show?" Holy smokes.
God damn.
Holy smokes. Speaking of KFC, shout out to KFC Radio.
I wanted to give KFC Radio a shout out during this episode.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they were the pioneers at this company in terms of podcasting. I mean, Big Cat got his start there going on KFC Radio. I know you guys have been on KFC Radio from time to time back in the day. I've been on a bunch of times just talking about some random shit. Like, it was always fun to get invited on there and just kind of chop it up with those two guys. I know they're going to go on to do a lot more things. It's not like they're dying or anything, but that show was an awesome show, and it was definitely a staple of Barstool Sports for a long, long time.
Very long time. And it got you saw a lot of the responses from people who work at Barstool who were like, this is the show that got me into this company.
Yeah.
And it was so far ahead of its time in terms of podcasting, certainly at Barstool and just podcasts in general. They started that thing so long ago, and we love Kevin and John. Those are two of our great friends at the company. So I remember, and I tweeted this, my first week working at Barstool, Kevin and John invited me on KFC Radio just to do the show as like an introduction, like, hey, we hired this new guy, and just to have him on to chop it up. And they were so nice and like laughed at my stupid jokes, and like it was at a time when I was terrified about the new job working at Barstool, because I never had a job like that. I was a security guard, and I was going into this sort of internet world, and for those two to have me on the show and be nice and to laugh at my jokes went a really long way. So yeah, shout out to those guys. They're great.
Yeah, I mean, they always really elevated people. Like on that show, I was just a camera guy, but they would take our funny conversations we'd have when I was editing pizza reviews, and he would be like, "Come on the show and do it." That's like next level thinking of like wanting to give some exposure to someone that probably doesn't even deserve it at that time.
Right.
So I mean, all of that equates to me kind of being able to be my own person at the company, as opposed to just being like one of the editors out there or doing it. You never know where your career ends up if you don't get your voice out there and your stories and your personality. They were a big part of that. So yeah, it was really, really awesome to just have that show just always running, and it was such a big part of like the comedy scene too. I mean, it became like during COVID, it was like the spot where all the comedians were going on, and that was like a real big surge of comedy on podcasting too. So they were the first to it all.
Yeah, and a couple real, just honest and raw guys. Like they would just put it out there, man. They would tell stories. They still do, and they will wherever they go. But I always love that about Kevin and John, dude. They just would kind of let it rip. They were very like self-deprecating always. And yeah, they were, I mean, it was kind of easy around the time that we launched this podcast to be like, oh yeah, podcasting has like a viable path to being a doable thing. They were just like, Kevin was coming up with podcasting before anybody was really, really doing it. They were doing it all the time. And it's true where it's like, if you were a Barstool fan and you would read, maybe every 20, 30 minutes, there'd be like a new blog posted, but you wanted more. Then all of a sudden they started putting out like hours of a couple Barstool guys, having people on in Barstool, just chopping it up about the world, about their lives, and doing it for a long, long time. So what a run for those guys. And they really are just fucking phenomenal dudes that have always helped prop other people up.
I remember vividly being in the back of Borelli's the first time Big Cat like turned his screen on, like to show like who he was, like his face.
Yeah.
It was a huge moment. Like, who is this guy?
Huge moment.
The Neil stuff, all of that. That was on KFC Radio, right? The Neil stuff? Or was that more like the rundown? I think that was KFC Radio stuff.
It could have been.
They wanted to see him and all the I mean, that took over the comment section of the whole entire blog. But crazy. Probably a lot of memories for them to go through this month and all those episodes. Make sure you go listen to that.
Tons, dude. Tons.
Congratulations, Nelly Corda, another friend of the program. She announced, I believe, on Black Friday that she is engaged to be married. Nelly Corda is just, one of the bigger names in our game. I mean, she is, she had the stretch last year, I think it was, where she won like 5 starts in a row. She won a couple majors. She was doing like Sports Illustrated swimsuits. She's going to like the Met Gala, I want to say, at one point.
Yeah.
So just getting absolutely out there for the women's game, golfer, kind of transcending a bit, and also being an absolute badass athlete and performer at the stage, world number 1 for a long time. I'm sure she'll get back there. But announcing that she's engaged, so congratulations to her. We get to see her every year. We saw her last week for the Taylormade Super Shoot. She's always awesome with us. She's cool. She's really, really fun to watch play golf up close and in person, and always has given us a bunch of her time. And so congratulations to Nelly Corda.
Congratulations, very nice. Every time we see her, it's always a delight. She really gets it too. Like she's like in on the jokes that she kind of gives it back to us, and she's she's definitely the perfect person to be like the star of that tour.
All right. Anybody have anything else? Anybody have anything else?
I think they've been grinding this tree into this machine across the street from me the whole podcast. It's been real hard for me to pay attention to what you guys are. It's all I hear. They're just taking this tree, and it's a huge tree, like 100-year-old tree we got around our houses. Whenever someone takes one of these things down, it's a freaking process. Grind it down to the stump, take all the huge pieces, grind them up.
What's the reasoning for taking the tree down? You don't want it to fall on your house?
You got that. They're such old and so tall, huge trees. Like we have a couple on either side. We've taken 2 or 3 down. And honestly, what it becomes is, and it's so bad. I mean, this is just like what happens when civilization starts messing with the earth. But like, we don't like the little things that it drops on our driveway. It becomes outrageous. Dude, like little acorns or like little needles, like your whole entire driveway and walkway is filled with needles constantly. So you end up just like wanting that to stop happening, and you take the tree down. You kind of kill it.
This tree is like, I was here before the driveway was here.
Way before.
Like,
mm-hmm.
My needle's been falling on this ground for 200 years.
Yeah. And it's been so much better to not have to clean all that up. And all the leaves too, like,
it's got to be so many leaves.
It's the most leaves. And now that that's gone on our driveway, it's really, really nice. So yeah, there's different reasonings. And I would say that it falling is probably number 1. You don't want that to happen.
Okay.
You definitely don't want that. That's,
like there's one that I have to get.
Well, fuck shit up, man.
There's one that I have to get done in my backyard that there's like a hole in it, and you can see squirrels will go in it. And my neighbor's like, they're shitting in there. They're shitting and pissing in there. And that's just going to rot it out from the inside. Like, may not happen now. It may not happen in 10 years. That tree's coming down. It's like, all right, like, fuck. It's like $2,000 to take a tree down. Crazy.
Yeah, it ain't cheap.
That's great.
It's not cheap to take a tree down.
Do it yourself.
Yeah, dude, bro. I couldn't take down a branch. I'm talking, these are big trees.
Just do it, man. Get an axe.
Yeah.
Paul Bunyan that thing.
Oh, it is what it is.
I know
man.
in Pinehurst you got to get like a $500 permit to take a tree down per tree.
Just to start taking the tree down.
Yeah, you got to get like approval to take it down.
You got to get the town to approve your tree taken down here, just because they want to try and make sure that it was worth. I don't know how we got that one approved. Hannah kind of did it when I was on the road. She got it all approved. She hated that tree. Came back, the tree was gone.
She hated that tree.
She went to like town hall and like argued on our behalf. I'm like, when did you do all this?
There was the derecho show that went through Cedar Rapids a couple years ago, which is essentially like a land hurricane. Took out a good percentage of the trees in Cedar Rapids, and I don't like it. It looks, every time I go back now, Jesus. I just feel like everything is exposed. So you don't want to get rid of too many trees.
No,
I understand wanting to get rid of trees, the needles, the leaves falling on your house potential. But if you get rid of too many, everything feels naked. Every time I go home, I'm like, and crazy enough, and this is going to sound stupid, it's windier in Cedar Rapids now because the trees, there's no trees like knocking down the wind. It's very strange.
I mean, I like the aesthetic of trees. I like that when we drive on our street, the trees kind of all connect from either side of the road. Because then when I go home to where I grew up in East Meadow, there's no trees. Everyone has a bush that's grown to a tree, or maybe you have like 1 or 2 trees on the block. And like you're saying, it's such a suburban feeling of like house, and blue sky. It's just like, what it's not that there's no character really.
Right.
It's funny because Hannah like thinks the opposite. She grew up in a similar town of East Meadow where it's just house, and really not that many trees. So she likes that aesthetic more. She doesn't like the trees. It's scary, like the dark tree lined streets are like a little bit more scary to her. So I think she's trying to take these things down when I'm on the road, one after another.
She's plotting on these trees. I drive through my old neighborhood.
The look of this, I really do.
I drive through my old neighborhood where I grew up in Cedar Rapids now, and it looks completely different, and I do not.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
What do you guys got going on this weekend? How was your guys' Thanksgiving?
It was cold as fuck in Missouri, dude. It was really cold. Like, I mean, the day I left, I think it was like 7. It said it feels like 11 degrees, and it was like 21 degrees out. And then right the night that I left, they got like 8 inches or something of snow. And I usually stay through Sunday, and I was like, nope. And I just left on Friday. Came back.
Yeah, I wasn't in the
Arizona.
Midwest, but the Midwest got slammed by snow.
Smoke.
Cedar Rapids got 10 inches of snow over the weekend.
Absolutely smoke. But I will say it was lovely to be home on Thanksgiving. If folks don't know, my mom is one of 12 kids, and my dad is one of 6 kids. So we have a huge family, and pretty much everybody's married. There's a bunch of cousins and kids and whatever. So when we go home, I mean, I want to say I waited in line for like Thanksgiving dinner for 15 minutes, like a 15-minute wait for me to get my Thanksgiving dinner, which is tradition. You grab like a beer, you just kind of wait in line. But my cousins and my aunts and uncles are all awesome. You know, kind of that like Midwestern, everybody's friendly, everybody's, you know, catching up. There's a lot going on in lives these days where it felt like for like 10 or 15 years, everyone was kind of like, we were all kind of like progressing, whatever, same level. You're just like in this grade, then you're in that grade, then you're in that grade. Now everybody's got like a new kid every time, and they're in a new house. They got a new extension. People are showing pictures of the new like add-on in their house. You know, it's just like the whole deal with all kinds of people. And as you know, as you can imagine, I guess I would say, like a bunch of my cousins and whatnot kind of follow, at least to a degree, what we do. So everybody was buzzing about the Internet Invitational, and they all wanted like all the background. Yep. So we were chopping it up a bunch about the Internet Invitational, which is great. So really, really nice to be home. I do love all the people from Missouri just in general. Everybody's so damn nice, so that when you are home, it's just like really nice to be surrounded by that. So yeah, being home for Thanksgiving was awesome. Both my parents, we got there at like 1, and we didn't leave my cousin John's house till like 7:30. We were just there, like we were taking it pretty deep, which doesn't always happen. So it was really fun. It was great.
Frankie boy, get to eat any sort of turkey or gravy or not there yet?
Not there yet. We actually had a little bit of a scare yesterday. He had a little bit of an allergic reaction to one of the things that we had introduced him to, and like I was out golfing with Big Rob. It was raining. I was with Kyle, Big Rob. I had a whole little crew out there, and he had woken up with like a couple of things on the back of his like neck, and so Hannah was like, "Oh, like we have to stay away from this for a while and get him tested, make sure that like he's not allergic to this." And then she was like, "I think it's gonna be fine." I was going away, and then like as I was on the golf course, he puked on her, and then like we had to rush him to a urgent care pediatrics. But it was so funny because once he was there, like he had like a little like blood pressure thing on his arm, and he had a thing, and the picture is like the cutest thing of all time. He's just chilling. And he's looking around like, why am I getting checked out right now? He's like, I'm not allowed to eat this stuff. Like, this is outrageous. So, we're kind of like, that was like our first like parental scare of like, all right, now we got to see what is he reacting to? What is he not? Because you don't realize like you have to try everything. And then that's the only way you really can find out, right? Like you're not going to get him tested for everything before he's trying it. So yeah, it's, I know it's a very common parental scare, but we had to deal with it, and that was our first one. But no, to answer your question, we did not give him anything out of the ordinary because we don't. Now we have like the yips a little bit, just oatmeal and fruit and stuff now. Yeah, crazy.
It's gonna happen.
Scary, man. You just
It
keeping
really
that kid
is,
alive,
man. Like,
you know.
Just them like learning how to do everything is fucking wild. Just everything, like just seeing a Christmas tree for the first time. I know I said that already, but it's just so wild to watch it. Trying a food for the first time, like ever. You know, like learning to drink water. Yeah, I watched him sip his first cup of water the other day. He literally sipped out of the straw. I was like, I teared up because I'm like, how'd you know how to suck it out? Like he drank the water. I'm like, you just drank water for the first time in your life. How refreshing is that?
How good is it? You're
Incredible.
gonna be taking a lot of that in over the course of
For,
your life.
you're gonna be doing that a ton, man.
Just
Ton of
drinking water, man.
Be a shit ton of water.
Crazy.
I've
But
been
yeah,
drinking water all day.
It was great Thanksgiving.
Love
Dude, we
water.
actually played. I went to his cousin's house and he had a pool table and we played this game. And I actually I've played this game before, and I saw KFC had posted it recently because I guess there's a pool table at the New York City office where you put 2 balls in front of every pocket and then you put 3 balls down the middle, and you have your cue ball. And the name of the game is to just run the table. So you basically try and make whoever. What is it? 16 balls in a rack. You have to just go I think it's 16 or 15. You have to clear the whole entire rack. And whenever you scratch, that's your turn, and then the next person tries and accomplishes it. So we did it for like 6 hours on Thanksgiving. Everyone would give it a try because it's like a game you can play by yourself. So if it was my turn, I would go for it and I'd let everyone know, hey, I got 2 left, and everyone crowds around the table. It's impossible no one cleared the rack. No one could get all of them in one go around. It's so hard. It gets down to like the last couple shots and you have to hit like a miraculous, because the first like 4 or 5, you're just hitting all the ones in front of the pockets. You're putting 2 balls in front of every pocket. You're nailing them all in. And then you got those 3 in the middle. And by the time like everything is kind of moved around, you got 3 or 4 long shots that you got to hit. So anyone that has a billiards table, try that game. It's a lot of fun. It really is. Like trying to get all of them in, it's nearly impossible.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it makes me want to get a table like really bad. It was so much fun.
You got place for a table?
Just take all that.
No, I
You're
don't.
cutting all those trees down. Just turn
That's
and take
the thing.
that wood.
Like a
make
freaking
your
pool
fucking
table just takes up so much damn space. Like,
yeah.
we had a ping pong table in the garage. I got rid of that because I'm like, I got this ping pong table in the middle of the garage. Like, I got to get around it for golf clubs and shit.
But
Now I'm going to put a pool table. You can't. What are you going to do on that thing?
Dude, but once you get one, because for some reason, I don't even remember why, we got a pool table when we were growing up and we put it in the basement. And that becomes the center of where everybody is. And it's so much fun. You play game after game after game after game. If you got the space for it, if you can figure it out, it's so much fun.
Because it's not just the table. You got to have how much feet on either side. You got to have like 3 or 4 feet because
Gotta
now
have clearance.
Yeah, no, it takes some big space, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. It makes me want to go to like a pool bar and try it.
Little pool hall.
Get hustled.
Pool
Get
halls
hustled
are
at
nice.
a pool hall.
Yeah, a little pool hall. So,
all right,
all right, boys. Well,
let's do it.
Happy holiday season. It's officially December. Thank you everybody for listening, and once again for the Black Friday, Cyber Monday merchandise. You can still get merchandise, you still get gear stored up barstoolsports.com. It's still there. Still there.
The real fans wait until the sale's over to pay full price.
Yeah.
This is your chance to prove how much you love this show. Is now that you've waited and 20%'s off, and you can now fire away at 100% if you would like. We appreciate you. Thank you everybody for listening. Thanks to our sponsors, Chevy, Flames, BetterHelp, DraftKings, now live in Missouri, One, protein bars, and truly unruly Ryan Richardson on the 1s and 2s. We'll see you Thursday. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.